Now, one of the things that I will repeatedly say is that government has a role, and we need to have government. Why? Because it provides rule of law. And so without it, we would have chaos. Number two, it enforces property rights so that we can be assured that those things we own aren't going to be taken from us. You know, if we were all together in a class in person, I would often say to the students, would you like to live in a world in which you're free to do what you want without people trying to tell you what to do? And there's usually some students who will raise their hand. Yeah, I'd like that. A lot of them are thinking that they would, but they're a little concerned that maybe the teacher is setting them up, and they would be right. I am setting you up because the thing is that I then say to the students, great. And the very first thing that I'm going to do in this new world is come over to your house and kill you and take everything you have. I mean, why not? Because there's no property rights and I'm free to do whatever I want. Oh, well, all of a sudden everybody says, yeah, well, we have to have rules about murder. Oh, okay. So no murder. Well, that's a rule. What other rules do we need? And then we start listing rules. Well, you can't steal my stuff. Okay. So it has to be property rights. And there has to be somebody to enforce those, right? And so government can help us have information parity and create a stable money supply. So these are some of the things that government can do for us. Well, in order to accomplish this, the government has to be able to have a monopoly on coercion. We have to recognize it and give it the authority, but it has to have the ability and the sole ability to coerce us into keeping the rules. And so the role of government, as the teacher, me, defines it, is in this phrase, the legitimized monopoly on coercion. So on a test, if I ask you, what is the definition of the role of government based on your teacher? This is the answer, the legitimized monopoly on coercion. It has to be those 5 words. Legitimized because it's recognized and approved by the people. A monopoly because no one else is allowed to do what they do. If you try to do what the government does and interfere in their role, you're going to go to jail. And coercion because it needs to have the power and tools to make certain that things are done. I want you to learn to think like an economist. And I'm going to try to help you see the world in a new way. You're going to learn about ceteris paribus, about using economic models. We're going to discuss opportunity costs and what that means. But most importantly, I want you to learn about the difference between positive and normative reasoning. Now, some of you may know what this is, but I don't think many of you do. So let me take a minute and explain it. Positive versus normative. Normative means those things which cannot be proven. I can make a claim, for example, it's a beautiful day today. And some of you might say, Dr. Thomas, it's not a beautiful day today. It's snowing and it's cold, and that's not a beautiful day. And I might say, well, where I come from and where my people come from, we like that. And we like cold and snowy. And that makes it a beautiful day. And we're never going to be able to convince each other. Why? Because it's opinion. It can't be proven. That's normative reasoning. This is what most politicians use, but not in this class. In this class, we're going to focus on positive reasoning. Positive reasoning, therefore, is those things which can be proven empirically. And so, for example, if I said, hey, students, it's 200 degrees today outside. Well, most of you are going to say, that's ridiculous, Dr. Thomas. We would all burn up and die. Oh, no, it's 200 degrees. Well, that's a positive argument because it's provable. So we can simply take a thermometer, put it outside, measure the temperature, and prove that I'm wrong. So my reasoning is positive because this is something that can be proven empirically. It might be wrong. The argument may be wrong, but that's where we can test it and determine if it is wrong. And so that's what we want to focus on, positive, not normative. Now, the environmental issues that we're going to be considering, fall into three major categories. The first is population growth. So at some point during the semester, we're going to look at what population growth means to the environment and to the economy. We're going to talk about climate change and how various changes in the climate can affect things. And we're going to talk about pollution and the overconsumption of resources. And so pretty much all of the environmental issues fall into these three categories.